Signori, buonasera! Cazzo. Com'è? C'ho il mouse molle. Praticamente dovrebbe stare dritta, no? Il cavo, così, in questa maniera qui. Solo che è tutto molle. Non riesco a mostrare. È tutto molle. Tutto molle il cavo. Perché è molle? Dovrebbe essere un po' rigidino, dare un po' di resistenza. Vedete, tutto così. Che fastidio. Grazie Insane More per i 57 mesi, a Black Scorpion per i 28. Buonasera gatto e a tutta la chat, buonasera a lei, grazie mille. Ho tagliato l'erba prima, sono distrutto, a pezzi, completamente morto, ma sono contento di essere qui con voi. Grazie a Penny per i 7 mesi. Rinnovate che il counter sta tornando su. Timidamente, ma sta tornando su. Vi ricordo che questo venerdì voliamo assieme fino in Giappone con Flight Simulator e avrei dovuto fare qualche prova in più.
Sì, mi ricordo.
Cosa che non ho fatto. Quindi sarà un problema. Quindi sarà un problema. Non ho fatto proprio delle prove, ma che fosse una di prova. Ho giusto fatto funzionare la cloche e quella funziona. Però ancora il pilota automatico e le rotte di alta quota sono dei misteri per me. Arriveremo in Giappone. Garantito. Grazie a Niki per i 5 mesi. Hi Binci Stinky Stinky Binci. Buonasera. Giocheremo a Lost? Via Domus però.
Sì, mi
Non ho
ricordo.
provato Dune, mi hanno dato la chiave ma non l'ho ancora riscattata. E che è tutto in inglese, in inglese. E chi lo sa l'inglese? Carino Dune, sì. Leggevo che è un po' macchinoso, però il fatto che sia in accesso anticipato mi cockblocca un po'. Merita? Vabbè che tanto mi ha dato la chiave. Gli inglesi lo sanno l'inglese, sì, è vero, confermo, confermo. Conosco un sacco di gente madrelingua che ne sa un botto di inglese. Sembra interessante, lo proveremo. E il fatto che sia uscito in accesso
Buongiorno.
anticipato mi puzza, perché è un titolo così importante. Alienur, buonasera gattone, ti auguro una meravigliosa settimana. Stiamo bene. Ah! E grazie alla compagnia, grazie mille a lei per i 9 mesi. È molto bello Elden Ring. Oggi abbiamo festeggiato Tofu, sono molto contento. Fine. Questo è quello che avevo da raccontarvi, non è che abbia fatto altro oggi. Perfetto. My goal is not too far. Ah, ah. Grazie sia a Sorry, sono 58, le voglio bene, anche a lei. Grazie. Finito Kirby? No, no. Quello proprio non ci ho più giocato, semplicemente. Avrei voglia di giocare un po' allo sport, ma ho ancora male. Vi giuro, mi fa ancora male il braccio. Mi fa ancora male il braccio. Però ho tagliato l'erba, è venuto lavoro, bellissimo. Poi sono arrivati tutto... Hyper... È arrivato poi tutto il cazzillo da buttare. E butterò il cazzillo domani mattina. Che rende tutto il terreno poi tutto così. Mm? Do you like Extreme Avatars? I copied from Binge and Tofu. Ciao capo, buonasera. Il cazzillo. Devo spiegare il cazzillo. Il cazzillo è arrivato. Hi Tofu, happy birthday! Tutti assieme potete fare tanti auguri a Tofu? Oh, you're lovely. Thank you. You're a very special one. Oh, ah. Everys, buonasera Gattobello, volevo ringraziarla per le ultime benedizioni che mi hanno aiutato tanto per la laurea raggiunta. Le si vuole un botto bene a lei e famiglia, grazie mille. Oh, bravi ragazzi, siete bellissimi. E grazie anche ad Andrew, non so cosa scrivere, quindi cazzi a lei, cazzi a lei. Enjoy your sushi, Tofu. Mi fate caldo, però adesso c'ho caldo. C'ho caldo.
Buongiorno.
E poi dopo mi viene caldo e devo aprire la finestra e mi viene caldo. Basta un po'. Ora voglio di sushi. Anch'io. Anch'io ho voglia di sushi. Voglia di sushi. Comunque è arrivato il caldo. È arrivato il caldo. Infatti ho il pantaloncino corto. E in questa stanza, mannaggia alla mannaggia, ci sono 24 gradi. E quindi niente, mi sa che tra un po' è ora di iniziare con il contrario del riscaldamento, che non è il riscaldamento, ma è il condizionamento, no, il raffrescamento, il ventilatore, che non è quello di più. L'aria condizionata, il refrigerio, mi piace il refrigerio, bello. Florence, grazie per i 100 bits. Did I hear sushi? Yes. Ma non io, ci va tofu, a mangiarlo. Riscaldamento è l'unica parola che effettivamente Pur conosce perché sta imparando l'italiano. Diamo una mano a Pur a imparare l'italiano. Quindi qualcuno le spieghi che cazzo vuol dire cazzillo. A casa di mio nonno 26 gradi a Natale. Che sporo. Riscaldafronte? Da me in Toscana fa leggermente freddo. Guarda, qui sono arrivati oggi 22 gradi e la mia idea di oggi, con 23 e passa gradi, è stata, senti qua, finita la live ho mangiato, in 10 minuti ho mangiato, a mezzogiorno e un quarto, con il sole alto, io ero fuori a tagliare l'erba. Sono stato fuori un'ora a tagliare tutto il giardino. Ho dovuto svuotare il tagliaerba 3 volte. Io sono morto. Cioè, non sono morto. Sfortunatamente non sono morto. Mi sarebbe piaciuto. Io non riesco a capire perché, nonostante i miei continui tentativi, il mondo mi tenga in vita. Cioè, guarda che delle volte è un casino qua. E poi uno non si deve incazzare. You are lovely, Binge. I was talking about my death. And it's true. Se no chi lo taglia il prato? Come si fa a morire in questo mondo? Come si fa? Come si fa? Chi mi devo rivolgere? C'è il comune? Perché non c'è la cabina suicidi come in Futurama? Che almeno uno fa... Ciao famiglia! Ciao bambini! E potete trasletare quello che ho detto? Bonus eutanasia. È uscito Stelli settimana scorsa, siamo di un ritardo micidiale. Il robottino per tagliare l'erba lo volevo comprare, però quello più economico mi pareva costasse intorno ai 500 euro e richiedeva il filo perimetrale. Ora, il filo perimetrale mi fa abbastanza cagare, perché uno è brutto in culo e due c'è Sifettone che potrebbe andarci a mettere il naso e toglierlo. E quello più costoso invece costava sui 1200, però figa, spendere 1200 euro per un giardino del cazzo, mi metto io a mano, ne ho spesi 90. Traduci tu che devi imparare l'inglese, ma io so streamer io. Oh, vinci. Rinnovate per il... è finito. Vuoi mettere la soddisfazione del lavoro manuale? Sì, 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 sì. Non rinnovate per niente. Oh, se volete rinnovare, rinnovate, e se no me ne vado a fanculo, non importa. Allora, è uscito Bugsnax sul Game Pass, ma l'abbiamo già giocato. Molto bello Bugsnax, lo consiglio. Come si dice consiglio in inglese? Comunque, Bugsnax it's a pretty good game. Play Bugsnax. Grazie Andrea per la sub. E stasera invece ci infiliamo nel culo Stanley Parable. È uscito il DLC di Bugsnax? Non sapevo niente. 1200 euro sono soldi, in questo caso meglio la classica. Ma sì, cioè 1200 euro sono veramente tanti soldi. Per quella roba lì. Cioè, fosse stato qualcos'altro potrei capire. Sì, il cazzo, no? Subtitles. Però sono soldi per quello. Grazie a Stoca per la sub e a Pietro il Brutto. Buonasera, signor Gatto. Come sempre un piacere ed è un piacere tutto mio. Grazie mille. Non lo compri, dato che è un cane, non lo consiglio assolutamente. Il filo perimetrale va sotterrato. Ah,
Ah,
veramente?
sì, mi ricordo.
Ah. Perché dato che è un cane non la consigli, Baldi? Hai già giocato Stanley Parable? Sì. Io accetterei questa cosa qua. L'ho scaricato l'altro giorno, hanno aggiunto una missione secondaria. Sì, ma non mi dire, non mi dire. L'ora attuale, come l'ora attuale? Figo! Come l'ora attuale? Ah, tra l'altro ancora malissimo qui, eh? Io muoio sicuro. Che ora sei? Le 20. Perché non c'è il formato vero? Come si cambia qua? Oh, e come... Beh... Ma vaffanculo, cioè perché? Perché questa cosa? Va a cagare, va. Eh no, volevo mettere PM, pensavo si cliccasse su AM. Oh, e usate il formato 24 ore. Grazie a Frankie per i 15 mesi. Ne posso dire? Sì. Ancora il monitor un po' storto da... L'audio mi sembra un po' altino. Direi che va bene così. Un 60. È accettabile questo 60? Non avete mai visto Stanley Parable? Allora sarà molto bello per voi stasera, se non l'avete mai visto prima. È eccezionale.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple.
Grazie Darius per i 18 mesi.
In room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Grazie Antonio per i 26
Never
mesi.
in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Sconsiglio il robot Adeb perché la lama sotto inzozza di cacca. No, Sif non caca in giardino. Quindi, cioè, a parte rare volte, quindi non... Forse non posso il primo giro? Vabbè, proviamo a vedere, diamogli retta. Strigatta, buonasera signor Gatto, anche se un po' in ritardo sono nata finalmente, grazie mille. Non serve fare backsitting comunque.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Ah, forse era proprio l'inizio.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ma era così fisso all'inizio? Cazzo.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Effettivamente. Effettivamente, guarda qua.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Drammatica questa cosa. Che film arrivano qua.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
No, graficamente mi sembra abbastanza identico. Forse hanno upscalato qualcosina, ma mi sembra proprio uguale.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Vabbè, sì. Sì, graficamente è semplicemente un po' più bellino. Scusami. Cioè, ma che cazzo di multa è? Ma muoio? Fai culo. Mi serve la tessera lì. Vado.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Che palle.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Esattamente.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Non l'avete mai visto? Merita tanto, Prendetelo, è appena uscita la versione nuova. Questa parte qui l'ho già giocata. Poi hanno aggiunto un DLC corposo, dicevano, una roba grossa.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ci sono i polpi, esatto.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Porca troia. Non me li ricordo tutti i finali, li avevo fatti una vita fa.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Niente.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Stronzo.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes.
Vai.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track,
Va bene,
okay.
va bene.
From the top.
Cambiata la scrivania, Mi pare almeno. Ma forse no. Di cosa tratta il gioco di oggi? Guardatelo e basta.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Non lo so, Gabriel.
Oh, did something change?
Sicuramente
Stanley,
voglio vedere un po' il
did
DLC.
you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did
No,
you move
io non ho
the
toccato
story
niente.
somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago.
Certo.
I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure.
Prego.
Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Storia? Manchi tu nell'aria, storia. Ok.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
Oh, guarda dove siamo
Do we
finiti.
Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Se non l'avete giocato, ragazzi,
All this
è una
co-workers
bellissima
have gone.
esperienza.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Certo. Colanif, grazie per i 16 mesi. No, comunque, se sapete qualcosa di gioco, non scrivetelo in
it's
chat,
worse.
mi
I
raccomando.
might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Volentieri. No, continuo a guardare il muro. Ha un po' di Portal 2, eh? È vero, sì, c'è un po' quella narrazione burlona lì. Queste storie malandrine che scompaiono. Lo sai che sono ribello, Ecci. Io sono uno di quelli che proprio... Oh, l'ho spento? Vediamo un po'.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story.
Eccola!
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Sì.
Now this-
Spooky.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Sono contento. Molto contento.
No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of
Grazie
those
Bake per
situations.
12 mesi.
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Prego. Tanto questa cosa non me la ricordavo.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
No, non è la prima volta che ci gioco, è la prima volta che gioco alla versione nuova, però. Beh, non ci sono cazzi, non possiamo sbagliare, quindi vediamo un po' che succede. You're farty beans? No. No, voglio andare di qua. Sono ribelle, vediamo di cosa c'è.
No, I'm down. We're living it up to the line from now on.
Line OTM. No. E se invece torno di qua? No. Follow the line. Spengo PC. Mirko, ma il banjo che fine ha fatto? Come vedi c'è stato un bel droppino. Rinnovate e forse ci possiamo ripensare. Un solitario?
Tu devi essere Igor. No, si pronuncia.
Non posso spegnere il
Igor.
solitario. Niente. No, io voglio fightare la low.
You see? The line knows where the story is.
Certo.
It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Certo.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a
Sono
destination
d'accordo.
is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Certo.
Okay. Now,
Sì.
if my experience of your existence
Sì.
rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going.
Mi sembra un
with all
po', un
that.
po' preso, però
I
sì.
think what we need right
Volgin,
now
grazie
is
per
a
la
bit of
sub.
music to lighten the mood.
Prego. Fortuna che ho abbassato l'audio. No, il caffè. È importante l'audio. Pappararaparapam, pappararaparapam. Una citazione a Payday. Pappararaparapam, pappararaparapam. Ma che cazzo? Ok. Sì.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
Volentieri.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Ok. C'è qualcuno che me la può disegnare? Questa inquadratura così. Guardate, secondo me non è vero. Ve lo dico. Però, vabbè. Torno indietro. No. Mi blocchiano. Ma Gabriel non credo serva, sai? Ti ringrazio, ma vedrai che era una stronzata. Quella.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Di qua? È l'inizio della linea questo. Vabbè, ciao. You are in the toilet bench? E da lì siamo arrivati, allora di qua devo andare. È ancora qui, certo.
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Io voglio quella colonna sonora quando esco di casa.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it
Va
ever
bene.
done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why
Sì.
can't we make up our own story? Something
Sì.
exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Va bene. Se volessi andare, no. Cioè, non è che abbia alternative, quindi... Vai. Ciao, Ricky.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Sì.
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Vorrei dei dinosauri. Oh, no. Scusa, come funziona questa stanza qua? Vabbè.
Oh, no, not you again.
No, la
Stanley,
linea è
I'd also like to
tornata.
veto the line from having any role in our
Okay.
awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Rinnovate per il counter. E partirà un treno se rinnovate tutti, secondo me. No, forse tra un po' parte. Un po' presto.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
Okay.
How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just
Dimmi.
walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that
questa
in
qua.
turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is
Okay.
clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct
Ma?
one. Another victory for logic.
Ok.
Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the
No!
schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
Finisce male se riavvia
Who
ancora.
consulted me? Why don't I get to decide?
Prego.
Why don't I get a say in all of this?
Vai.
Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't
Sì.
want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't
Bravo,
do it.
bravo.
I won't do it. I won't do
No,
it.
bravo.
And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
Non credo.
The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Mm-hmm. Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we?
Certo,
Eventually.
alla fine.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
Puttana.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
Grazie
simply
Castomania per i
misremembered.
42 mesi.
Tavolo buono che conosco il proprietario. Ma certo.
When
Non li ho
Stanley
letti
came to a
comunque.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Buona cena, Baldi.
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
No, no.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that
Coglione.
convinced that I want something
Sì.
bad to happen to you?
Va
What?
così, va
I
così.
don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show
Sì.
you something beautiful.
Dimmi.
Look, let me prove it. Let
Certo.
me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Prego.
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Sì.
Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this
Certo.
road you've
Sì,
chosen?
sì,
Well, don't
sì.
let me stop you.
Va bene, è ancora qui.
See? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically
Io sono
for
contento.
you?
Io sono
Do you
contento.
not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new
Vai.
design, and you can give me some feedback.
Prego.
There we go. A third option. This one really feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go
Sì.
ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Questo è il DLC.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
5.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly.
Certo,
A
sicuramente.
calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley.
Ah, non è DLC
Don't even
questo?
try.
Non me la ricordo.
Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version.
Non me la ricordo questa
Perfectly
parte qua.
candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Non me lo ricordo minimamente. Che è? Ah. Il 21,3% dei giocatori skippa l'intro. Questo sei tu? Adesso. Certo. Oh! Dead Wrath of Line? Va bene. Cioè, quindi il penultimo comunque ha fatto 3 ore in meno di me. Non ho amici, che dobbiamo fare?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel
Sì.
motivated to keep
Molto,
walking
molto.
through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
2.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now
Sì.
would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Vai.
Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby
Me
crawls
lo
left
ricordo.
towards
Questo
the
me lo
leader.
ricordo.
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear
Certo,
once you've been
certo.
playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm
Ma
not
si può
even
far
going to
vedere
try.
su Twitch
I'm
questo?
out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey,
Questo me lo
since my game was
ricordavo.
so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Vai.
Aha!
Ma è coso
What do
è?
you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
Firewatch.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a
Questo è il
creepy
DLC.
man, spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love
scritto?
everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Sopra il ratto c'erano Adolf e Mussolini? Scusami, Gabriel, dove? Ah, c'erano Adolf Hitler e Mussolini che sono offline. Ma porca... Ah, sopra il ratto nella... Che storia. Non li ho proprio visti. Non l'ho giocato Firewatch. Perché Karim mi ha detto che era una chiavica. E allora non l'ho fatto. Vado.
Oh no. No, 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 it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
No!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering
Rinnovate.
around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Prego.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Certo.
Okay, I think
Vai.
this will be just the thing.
Ci credo.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this
Beh.
is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
Sì,
Stanley,
sì.
I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together.
Non è.
Yes, I think surely we must.
Non è.
Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
No. Mi infilo nella porta e basta, vediamo che succede. Ah, c'è un buco.
What are you doing?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Flying cabinet. Che buio. No! Ma adesso ho paura io. Oh, luce. È vero, me lo ricordo Minecraft. Si può fare niente. Ok.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice.
No, in
And
realtà
he's
no.
learned the heavy cost that comes with it.
Certo.
He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Ok.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Beh. Allora. Mike Mazowski.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Grazie.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
9 anni,
After
cazzo.
receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Certo.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
E se io torno indietro?
Okay, so far it's an elevator.
Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Vai.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do
Mai.
it.
Certo. Da che parte sarà secondo voi che si
I
sceglie?
have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable
Sì.
Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the
Vado.
content, Stanley. All right.
The Jump Circle.
All right, let's see. It's
Il cerchio del
the
salto?
jump circle.
Posso saltare? Rinnovate, mancano 20 resub.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Non si può più. Me l'hanno tolto. Grazie Budino per la sub regalata.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of
No.
this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary.
Come?
There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell,
Cioè,
I could
solo?
count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more.
Wow.
Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else.
Ooh.
Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Che c'è scritto? Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley?
Sì.
This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base
No
rush
respect.
a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm
Beh.
afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
Ok.
No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
No, niente, non posso. Para, proprio bello il video di oggi, lo posso dire, grazie mille, sono contento. È free to play, provatelo Aride. Grazie a Giumale per i 18 mesi. Anch'io. Anch'io. Quella foto di dove eravamo prima.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Scusami? Non è una cosa strana da dire? Coffee nut? Non è tipo una roba sulla masturbazione del... Secondo me finisce come
Okay, you
Portal.
remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much
Sì.
better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
È bellissimo.
Take a look.
Con questa roba tutta... Wow!
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing
Perché?
all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Memory Zone, eccolo lì.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then,
Scusami.
video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Le cartoline! Col 2013, giustamente. No, è un po' sbagliato l'orologio, ma va bene. Dov'è che c'è scritto The Last of Us? Ah sì, nel premio c'era. Ah, non posso. È la pagina di Steam. Madonna. Non è cambiato granché Steam negli anni, tra l'altro. Cioè, Steam avrebbe proprio bisogno di... Questa me la ricordo, sta versione qui. Avrebbe proprio bisogno di essere aggiornato un pochino graficamente. Il primo dollaro questo guadagnato. Era la demo quella, sì. Tante nomine. Beh. Ah. Che male il braccio. Grazie Trisnor per i 43 mesi. Mamma mia, ma è una fitta proprio. Ah, non posso andarmi a sedere. Che cos'è?
And over here is where I
Voto.
keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like
Ecco
this
la
stunning
musica.
triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
No.
It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Inda, qual è la prima cosa da fare quando si scopre di essere positivi al Covid? Ma ovviamente la sabba al gatto e tanti auguri! Grazie mille, dai che le passa velocemente. Marizone qua è in manutenzione. La persona dell'anno è Stanley. Me la ricordo che ho la versione col CD nero e la cravatta. Questa qui era una limited edition che avevano fatto uscire dopo, mi pare, per celebrare. Non mi ricordo se già nel 2013 o se qualche anno dopo. Ma ricordo l'aveva comprata Karim, se non sbaglio. Non mi ricordo se l'aveva comprata Karim o Farenz. Non mi ricordo chi dei due. Non mi ricordo proprio. Chiamiamoli leve, chiamiamo... No, mi sembra il caso.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect.
No,
it didn't
perfetto,
need
10
anything
su
else.
10.
It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Carpet texture. 6 royalty free design. Ah, le due porte. Si è aperto di qua. The Serious Room. Vabbè.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Che c'è
Wait.
qui?
Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Paura quando chiude
What's
la
this?
finestra
What's
deve fare
down
tutto il
here?
casino del mondo
Oh,
e
no.
uccidermi.
Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from
Steam review!
the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as
Chissà se
well.
sono vere. Grazie Tabitka per il 5 sub. Ringraziate tutti Tabitka.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and
No, che sono
unfunny,
finte.
with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Funny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical
uno positiva
insights
lì.
that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Riccardo, dai una costruzione.
Allora, mi sta facendo molto ridere, però è un po' troppo autodidascalico.
Riccardo, dai una
Grazie
costruzione.
Tabitka. Per adesso non so dove va a parare. Autoreferenziale, non autodidascalico. Grazie Gabriel. Grazie a me stesso medesimo per i 45 mesi. Autocelebrativo. Che ci sta? Poi perché adesso vediamo come va avanti. Scusate, mi sto grattando che ho prurito. Grazie a Barba Divano per i 15 mesi. Vediamo, magari è finita la parte dove si fa i pompini da solo e diventa qualcos'altro.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
Ah, failure.
Perhaps the
Like
Stanley
Ophelia, ho
Parable
capito.
isn't quite
non
as
so.
sterling as I always
Grazie a
remembered.
Filosofi Chiara per i 18 mesi. E Barba Divano per i 15. Ok.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
No, dai.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I do anything.
Grazie Termos per il ride.
Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Ma non credo fossero review vere. Anche perché credo che debbano chiedere una liberatoria per mettere, no?
And here it is. Go ahead and... Oh, you're back, you see? You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was
Bene.
plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue for... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your finger. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
Oh no.
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
Effettivamente.
Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all.
No.
It isn't even close. Because I know you can't. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through.
See?
I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I...
Non mi parla più? No. Non mi parla più? Narratore? Cos'è? Ah, ha finito le batterie e il segnalatore di fumo, immagino.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world.
Anche secondo me è un po'
As though there
offeso.
were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment.
Non voglio sentire. Avete sentito gocciolare? Sì. Sto sentendo proprio qualcosa che gocciola. Eccola. Questa manovra è costata 51 anni. L'ho riguardato di recente Intercell.
End is never the 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 end.
La stanza è sott'acqua? La scala. Bestia, che freddo che deve fare. No, era emersa da sott'acqua. E infatti vedi che siamo in superficie. Cos'è quello? Il simbolo del radioattivo, eh. So che sia per una recensione. La prenderei anch'io, c'ha ragione. Ah no, è un cavo. Cazzo, sembrava una roba nucleare. Che paura. Voilà. Adesso magari cresce un albero, posso salire? Sarebbe bello. Bello. Horizon. Sono morti tutti? Che è successo? Grazie Sam per i 43 mesi.
Un tavolo buono che conosco il proprietario.
Ma certo.
Era tanto bella la versione con l'erbetta. E il narratore non penso. Oh oh. Oh! Ok, non si può più premere perché è rotto. Però si può uscire. Che anno è? Oh! Grazie a Lemon per i 5 mesi.
Ah, sì, mi ricordo.
Grazie Dancing per la sub regalata. Dove vado? Stanley, sei libero. Che
Riccardo, dai
culo.
una cospicua panciuta.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
Beh,
I have something very exciting to show you.
certo. Rinnovate, che manca poco alle 3002. Poi non so se ripuntare al banjo, mi sembra forse un po' eccessivo.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley
mi chiamano ancora Occhio di
and about
Falco,
how roundly disappointing this
Sì.
ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
Certo.
The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Grazie Rassomer, rinnovo per il 3002. Ma grazie.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from
Wow.
the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
4:27. The end is never the end. Again. Grazie a Era in game o fuori? Matteo per i 27 mesi.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just
Secondo
so
me è una
much
stronzata.
catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Certo. Che con i due a terra. A far culo. Sì, credo che il gioco sia tutto autocelebrativo, anche perché è difficile aggiungere nuovo contenuto a The Stanley Parable, quindi effettivamente c'era da aspettarselo. Il narratore è ancora più presente, si parla sempre della stessa cosa. Ci sta. Ci stavo pensando effettivamente, ma è difficile riaggiungere qualcosa ad un gioco come Stanley Parable. Quindi sì, diventa tutta un'autocelebrazione, un po' fine a se stessa, però va bene, insomma, se tu tra l'altro non hai il gioco, cioè se tu hai già il gioco te lo fanno pagare meno, quindi soprattutto a distanza di 9 anni, sì. Queste sono le varie opzioni. Bellino questo, mi piace molto. Ragazzi. Le felci. Come c'era un 3? Dov'era il 3? Qua? Questo qui è Resident Evil. Questi non ce li ho presenti. Quello lì è Mafia. Dov'era il 3? Sì, sì, sì. C'è... Oddio. Allora, il secondo dovrebbe essere Mafia. Cos'è? Saint Row il numero 3. Il 4 non lo so. Il 5 è Resident Evil. La B sembra un 3. No, no, no. È come Resident Evil. The Last of Us. Il primo? Questo qui? Beh, sì, potrebbe... Un po' generico potrebbe esserlo. Paradise Eve. Quello con... in corsivo, dici? Bello! Anche questo non è male, però ti fa pensare alla coop.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts,
that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
Sì.
It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Come? Ma come? Porta 2 Half-Life 2, Barton Arkham Asylum, CT, Divinity Original Sin, Doom 2, Aladdin Return to Jafar, Dark Souls 2. Somma, vabbè. Insomma. Meeting alle 2. E là. Che sboronata. Sì, tipo? No, abbiamo perso il treno. Che tristezza. Non importa. Grazie, belli. Expo Hall 2, certo.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Tipo? La feature della maglietta, mi posso cambiare? Belle le 2 righe. Mio Dio. Figo comunque, si vede che si sono impegnati. Cioè, rispetto al gioco che era prima. Secchio rassicuratore. Vado. Cioè, è un lavoro.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind.
Beh, ne vorrei uno nella vita vera. Svenix, sono 19, grazie mille.
The disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution.
Bello.
Come on, give it a try.
Vai.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact,
Certo.
can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just
Grazie.
holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Come essere
The
su per me.
benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Però. Che me lo tengo. Va bene.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Devo scegliere per davvero o... Oh, eccolo qua. Get Well Someday e buon compleanno, 12esimo. Step Nice. Cos'è Step Nice? Cos'è la Nice? La Nice? Cos'è Step Nice? Nipote adottivo.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Perfetto. Ah! Carino,
Actually,
va bene.
Maybe I should have gone with... No,
No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Certo, vedo. Certo. Jump Circle, quello abbiamo già
You
visto.
know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait.
No,
You
devi
already
a zero.
spent all your jumps the first time we saw
sì.
the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Perfetto. Free più new più easy achievement. Funziona e basta. Non posso credere che sia così semplice. Wow, mi piace questo stile con Infinite Hall. Non finisce. Mi piace perché è veramente una... E sono così le convention americane. C'è di tutto. Così, a cazzo. Con temi diversi, per carità, però sono così. Dai, provo... Cosa provo? Provo l'achievement. Zero White, che lo spirito del Natale sia con voi, grazie mille. Pull the lever, receive your new achievements. No more steps. Ok.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
Okay.
Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Tiro allora.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Certo. Sono molto triste. Letto sotto la statua? Quale? Il cartonato, dite? Ah, il cartonato. O la statua quella gigante? No, non ho letto, non ci sono ancora andato.
What
Guardate di
else?
questo?
What other exhibits
No.
haven't we seen yet?
Sotto quello lì? Collectibles? E che cosa dovevo leggere? Vabbè, ma sto facendo altro, ragazzi, con calma, adesso vediamo tutto. Allora, no screenshot. Ah no, ho già visto, scusami. Che palle, è carina la scritta no screenshot. Andiamo di qua. Volevo farti vedere il buco infinito. Ah, vedi? Continua ad andare. Questo cos'è? L'inferno? No, è la terra. Ok. Grazie Gnenis per i 49 mesi.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in
Certo.
fact a hole that you can fall down forever.
È interessante, ma poi dopo per smettere di cadere?
You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
E sai che mi ha rotto il cazzo, dopo un po' di tenere in mano,
You
ma...
see, isn't it wonderful? One of my
Bello.
more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole,
Sì, dimmi di
you
più.
can press the teleport button to pop back
E
up
qual è
to
il
the
tasto?
top, and we can continue onward.
La G.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits.
Deve essere figo però avere questa sensazione di cadere sapendo che in realtà non c'è una fine. Sapendo che in un qualunque momento ne puoi uscire. Io proverei.
Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works,
chiederei rimborso.
Go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole.
Io vorrei negozio che deve pensare. Sì, ma ti butti, è un po' come fare paracadutismo però safe. Grazie a Danny per i 60 mesi.
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before.
È vero.
I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Oh gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite,
si sta riducendo.
but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is.
Ma dai!
My lie has come. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Non va. Non va. No.
Teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean,
sì.
I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Fortuna che abbiamo il secchio esatto, siamo tranquilli. È diventata la casa di Prezzemolo. O coso, come si chiama? La casa dell'orrore di Disneyland. Nerdle Lady, grazie per 5 mesi. In ritardo ma si rinnova sempre. Grazie mille.
Ah, sì, mi ricordo.
Oggi cambia la tua percezione. Grazie a Papalos Mambo. Vista la sfiga dell'ultimo periodo, la veloce benedizione serve grata. Tantissimi auguri, grazie mille. Che sono al contrario. Bello. Abbiamo fatto il giro.
Stanley!
No,
Oh,
stavo...
good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just
Mi stavo
so
divertendo.
darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single
Va
minute.
bene.
So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the whole?
Io mi sto
From the
divertendo un
looks of
sacco.
things, you and I will have many, many years
Sì.
here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Ancora. Mi aspettavo uscisse un anno da una tenda rossa come sfondo. Che parlava al contrario. Che c'era tra l'altro una canzone niente.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Peccato. Grazie a Barra chiude per i 17 mesi. Allora, il bottone dice il nome del giocatore che sta giocando il gioco.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Certo.
So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Dirà Stanley al 100%.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you roleplay as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself.
Grazie Silverwoods, buonasera Gattone Ficone, ho appena finito una call di lavoro super importante e posso rilassarmi con lei. Posso chiedere una piccola benedizione per l'appartamento nuovo? Certo, tanti auguri. Sono Jim adesso.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button.
No,
Otherwise,
certo.
it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now?
Sì,
Get
sì.
out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says.
Certo.
But no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the gym button away.
Che succede qua? Grazie a Maverick. Scusa, che fai fatto il gym bottone? A Maverick 17. Ma con te Nutella porta sfortuna. Scusa, ma con te nulla porta sfortuna. Ho letto con te Nutella. Ho letto con te Nutella. Si è preso lui il bottone, ok. Grazie a Army che per i 4 mesi. Per i 4 sub. Oh, Dio mio. Ragazzi, che cazzo c'ho? Ma sono un incognito di me. Grazie per le 3002, ci siamo riusciti. Feragol, mamma. C'è un problema nella mia mente, eh? Devo fare il recuperone. Avvia nuovo obiettivo. Alle 3003, tieni. Ma dai, è già calato. Appena l'ho messo è calato. Vaffanculo, va. Jim, riprenditi. Hai ragione. Il buon vecchio Jim ha lavorato troppo oggi. Devo rimettermi in carreggiata. È calato, guarda sto stronzo. Dimmi, Ciava, dimmi.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Sì, immagino. Ok. Di qua ci siamo infilati. Grazie Ricky per la sub regalata.
Along would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the well, we'll figure that out later.
No, dimmi, scusa, pensavo fosse... Ah, è proprio una scena... Oh, scusa. Vabbè, madonna, se l'è presa? Grazie a me stesso per la sub regalata. E anche a Tabitka per la sub regalata. Tutti volevate mettere di nuovo l'ultimo. Grazie, belli. È successo proprio nel momento in cui ho cambiato. Che dramma. Non lo so cosa succede se lo gioca uno che si chiama Jim. Credo che sia contento. Anzi no. Sei forse a metà di quello che... ma magari lo rigiochiamo anche domani, eh? Sono un po' cotto oggi. Sono stato di là. Cioè, non mi sta dispiacendo anche perché è un po' più lineare. Ah, i collezionati.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Beh, una di 6 mi ha detto, solo che sotto di me. Grazie Zac per la sub.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Ho visto tutto? Mi sa di sì. Di qua forse non sono stato, però vabbè, sono un passaggio. The babies all grow up. Chi è?
Tu devi essere Igor. No, si pronuncia Igor.
Pensavo succedesse qualcosa, come non detto. Ho fatto uno screenshot con Steam, non è servito. Grazie allo Squalo Genova. Ciao famiglia, ciao bambini. Stiamo effettuando delle riparazioni sulla strada. Vedo. Uscita. Dove andare all'uscita, immagino, allora.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to
Sì?
move on now?
Certo? No. Madonna, che inquietudine. La mia faccia.
So, Stanley, what do you
Madonna,
think?
che paura.
Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in
Dovrebbe
there
essere
somewhere.
multipiazza,
Say,
credo, questo
let's do
gioco,
an
sì.
experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Certo.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
Certo.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Col buco, l'achievement, i saldi.
I mean,
Non è
there's
salito.
potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first
Però non si
game.
può fare.
I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it.
Attenzione.
I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
Carino dove sta andando a parare,
Need
eh?
a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Addirittura. Va bene. Però sapete che quasi quasi rinvierei a domani sera? Adesso che abbiamo questa cosa qua, vi lascio un po' in sospeso. Eh? E dai. Spero che una volta riacceso riparta da qua però. Perché se non lo fa adesso è finita. Aspetta che lo riapro. Impossibile sincronizzare. Oh no. Finita. Red Panda sono 17, grazie da me, mio ragazzo. Il suo canale è stato l'argomento che ci ha fatto conoscere. Oh. Gatto Cupido addirittura. Che sono le 22. Meno 10 sarebbe, però tanto me lo richiederà anche domani. Prego. Ah. Figurati. Sì. Dato che hai collaborato così bene, la prossima volta che avvii il gioco e vedi quella stata chiamata, inserisci pure il tuo orario preferito. Ok, sì, va bene, va bene, va bene. Porca miseria, sono veramente stronzo stasera. Scusatemi, scusatemi. Allora. Stasera vi mando da Vale, vi mando. Che c'è Vince che ha cominciato God of War, però diversifichiamo un po'. E vado a riposare, ragazzi. Noi ci vediamo domani mattina con spero quel gioco lì, perché non è neanche ancora uscito in realtà. E buonanotte, è stato un piacerone passare queste ore con voi. Grazie per le resub, siamo tornati alle 3002, mi fa molto molto piacere. E a domani mattina, spero. Grazie belli, buonanotte.